Well, hello, y'all. It is time to breathe again as Patrick is adjusting his camera. It is
I don't want you to. I don't want you to look taller than me. I gotta be taller than you.
okay. As long as the face is in the camera, everybody can see. Man, that's all that matters.
That's all that cares. That's all.
Well, it is time to breathe again on the latest BOFA Sports webcast streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. So you see us together, Patrick and Charles, and let's jump right into it. Patrick, Super Bowl, Philly Eagles, fly, whatever you want to see. They are partying.
Georgia North.
Yeah, Georgia North. Yeah, we'll get into some of those players in a minute. But they are still partying, will be partying all week in Philadelphia. You got the parade coming up on Friday. And before we get to what happened in the game, I just think it is so funny looking at some of these celebrations in Philadelphia. You literally had people on the streets tush pushing against each other. Philly fans undefeated.
Man, they earned it this time. Man, they earned it.
Dominant.
Total dominance.
And look, real quick, Patrick, that 40-22 score, not indication of how lopsided the game was, man. It was.
Yeah, I had somebody tell me, he goes, man, if it wasn't for Patrick Mahomes' 2 turnovers, Kansas City would have won. I was like, even with the 2 turnovers, it was 26-22 Philly. Take the 14 points away, they still win it.
Like, it was 40-6. I mean, that game was over. And so look, the Eagles came in, and what I'll say in terms of how everything happened is this. We have been saying all along, Kansas City's right for the taking. It can't be. They've been pulling out all these one-score games and finding ways to make a play when they had to have them. With them being right for the taking, it was going to take a team like the Eagles to take advantage of it.
Yeah.
Like the Chiefs weren't going to get beat by anybody that was not up to par. I mean, if that was the case, then they would have lost to like the Texans or somebody. But the Eagles, better team, better talent all across the board, and they came in, played with that chip. There, you always hear about the chip on their shoulder, but the Eagles definitely had that. They took it to Patrick Mahomes. That defensive line, super dominant. They didn't blitz not one time, and they were generating that much pressure with their front four. But 6 sacks, had two turnovers, a forced fumble recovery. The offense did good too. We know Jalen Hurts got the MVP, but probably should have went to someone on defense. I don't know. That defense is really dominant, man.
I would have said the same thing.
Played well, but that defense was.
I mean, Jalen Hurts had several hits down the sidelines, man, and but dude, what I saw from the get-go was Philly was just, they were on fire, and they came out firing, and it was like punch after punch after punch. I mean, even when Jalen couldn't throw the ball, Barkley was finding ways to get a block, pushing it out, giving him 2 or 3 more, just like 2 seconds more so you can get down the field and throw it at him. You know, Barkley wasn't like as effective as he was in the run game, but man, the blocking. He picked up, I counted throughout the entire game, 4 or 5 just key blocks that got Jalen out to make a play. You know what I mean? That first one in the first quarter where he hit the receiver down the side.
Yeah, Dotson.
He had that one key block that gave him just a second more to get the ball down to Smith. He had that key block where it pulled, instead of him coming in to Hurts on his right side, he hit that block and then took off upfield that forced him to pull, and nobody pulled out. Nobody pulled with him, so he just dumped it right to Barkley. I mean, it's just like the key blocks that Barkley had throughout the entire game was just like, he may not have got it in his rushing yards, but man, he got it in his passing yards and he got it in his blocks, because he pulled the right blocks almost every time. It was just enough, because, you know, he that's all you're asking a running back, dude. Just give him just enough. And he gave him just enough. So, I mean, yeah, Jalen Hurts got the MVP, but man, I could probably sit and count 12 people that could have got it. I mean, without a doubt. Barkley with all of his blocks, Smith with his catches, the defense with their interceptions, the sacks, you give it to all four of the defensive linemen, because they were just owning Kansas City's offensive line, just owning them. And then the fact that Pacheco only got like 4 carries in the first half, I was really kind of disappointed in the way Kansas City was pushing the passing like that. But Philly made them very one-dimensional very quickly.
They looked Kansas City, when they looked overmatched. Number one, they came out flat. They just looked like they came out just not with the intensity that the Eagles did. Now, I don't know if it was one of those things where they ran out of gas. I mean, you had 2 weeks in between games, but I guess when you make runs like that, when you've been the 2-time defending champs and you're making a run for a 3-peat, I guess there's a reason why this hasn't been accomplished in NFL history, or at least in the Super Bowl era. It's just, it's a lot to ask. It's taxing on the bodies. And then you get a team like the Eagles who are hungry. Mind you, they lost to the Chiefs. A lot of those players were on the roster 2 years ago that lost to the Chiefs in the Super Bowl that year. And it was just a different, altogether, it was just a Philly team that looked supremely confident, knew they were better from top to bottom. And it was one of those cases also where you have the best player, which Patrick Mahomes, I think, would qualify for that. I mean, I guess in totality, this year, I mean, we know what Saquon has done. So if anyone said that he was the best player on the field that day, I would agree on him for that. No. And so you have Mahomes and probably the best coach right now in Andy Reid against the best team. And in this case, the best team won. The Eagles have been good. They're good. They're built. Offensive line, defensive line built. They got skill position players all over the place on offense. The defense is loaded. And they came out with a clear focus on letting the front four cook. And on offense, looks like they were prepared. They knew the defense for the Chiefs was going to try to key in. What's going on, Aaron? So they knew they were going to key in on Saquon, and they were ready for it. Throw the ball to AJ Brown. Throw the ball to Devontae Smith. Yeah, Drake did kind of get body back by Kendrick.
There's something about that, dude. Look, I knew there was going to be a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? Digs, and some messaging coming from Kendrick. But man, let me tell you, like, I caught a lot of them, like the whole PlayStation thing and how Sony is his his record label. But man, there was a lot of them, dude. Kendrick is he's a mastermind when it comes to that stuff. Like I caught the lowercase a, like I caught that one. I caught some of his stuff at the beginning. But there was so many. I even had to go to social media because I was like, I know there's something there. I just don't know what it is.
Yeah, I mean, he looked in the camera and said, "Hey, Drake,"
and gave it like a second. Like,
yeah,
let this sit in. Let this sit in because, sue me because of whatever. Dude, how do you start a battle and then sue somebody for slander?
yeah. It's crazy how all that materialized, and I guess Kendrick had just been sitting on it for a while. Because remember, they had their beef that was going on in 2015, 2016, and nothing was really said about it, or at least I didn't see too much.
Drake kept picking. Drake kept picking, and then Kendrick was like, "All right, now I'm done."
Yeah, and I think Drake got a little bit personal with it, kind of came after the family a little bit. And look, I know back in our days, Patrick, where we were just like, yo, an MFer could get it, right? So back in our days when we were like that.
Well, Kendrick is
we would say,
you don't get it.
Yeah, like you say what you want about me. If you have an issue with me, talk to me, deal with me, come after me. When you mess with another person's family, it's out of bounds. It's out of bounds.
No, not in rap. Not in rap. Everything's on the table. Everything's on the table. And I would say this: if you're going to start the battle, you're the one that brings what is going to be on the table. And if you're going to bring my family, okay, cool, bring my family, but don't be pissed when I bring yours. That's all it is.
Hey, that's why I say, in that regard, as off the table. Look. And I see where you're coming from with it, but everybody got that line where it's like, hey, look, you come at me, say whatever about whatever items, but the minute wife comes in, kids come in, well, now you got to get the business now. And
I mean, so I can tell you, for me, we'll scrap. We'll go back and forth. But my family comes in town. That's when the gloves come off. Okay.
You see?
All right. Let's go. You know what I mean? And we'll go. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, don't be mad when it hits back. That's all I'm saying. But you know how I am, Charles. I mean, I'll sit and trash talk with anybody all day long. I'll let you determine where we're going to go. And you want to start talking about my mom? Hey. Okay.
I don't. You know what, Patrick? I don't know, because you're the one who you're talking.
I would be a skater.
I
would push it to make them go there so that I can. Okay, I get it.
Okay.
Yeah, I get it.
Because you're the one, you're gonna talk and not let anybody get a word in. And so,
why would I?
Yeah. But
I'll do exactly what Kendrick did. I'll go to the Super Bowl and keep you around while you sit on your phone and scroll. Drake. Say Drake. Yeah.
Well,
but he got bodied though. I will tell you that. And man, when I saw that, I was like, okay. Kendrick officially won that one.
Well, before we get on the picture for these two teams that were in the Super Bowl, anything else on the actual game, or just as simple as the Eagles just took care of business?
Eagles just dominated, man. I mean, they dominated from the get-go. Like you said, that 22-40 wasn't even close. Patrick Mahomes, they put up 16 points in the last 4 minutes, but at that point, I think the 12th string, I think the Swifties switched sides and started playing for Philly at that point. Oh, did you see Taylor Swift got booed?
I did.
Did you hear her face? She's like, I don't think I've ever had that before.
Yeah.
It's okay, Taylor. You're still. I mean, look, I'm not a Swiftie. She got some okay songs every now and then, but she got booed. I thought it was kind of funny. I think that's what pissed Travis Kelce off. He was a no-show anyway, so.
Yeah, Travis didn't do too much.
2 catches for 22 yards.
And the thing, I mean, the Eagles had the game plan. We're gonna get after Mahomes with the front four, and they always had 2 people around Kelce. They knew they looked at that scouting report, see that Mahomes probably gonna look for Kelce if he needs that money catch, the chain moving catches. Take that away, maybe make him hold the ball a little bit more, force him to go other places, and then you can get a couple of interceptions. Or if you don't have Nolan Smith or Jalen Carter just walking offensive linemen back into Patrick Mahomes.
Where are they from?
Yes, the Georgia North. Yes.
Georgia North.
So the Eagles getting ready for their victory parade on Friday. Let's look at the future for these 2 teams, Patrick. The Eagles, I gotta say, man, future looks bright for them. Built great on the offensive line, built great on the defensive line. Weapons all over the place on offense. Defense, they're one of the youngest defenses in the league, and they were 1 and 2, depending on the category, in pretty much every defensive category. Mm-hmm. So I mean, this team looks built for now and the future, and I don't think it would be out of the possibility of them going on a little bit of a run. Maybe similar to the Chiefs. I mean, the Chiefs hit 2 Super Bowls in a row, almost had a third. It's going to be tough to beat the Eagles in the NFC, man. That team is loaded.
Well, I mean, you're going to have to pick up some stuff, but the only thing that could really there's only 2 things that can hurt Philly with their team: injuries, God forbid. You know what I mean? Because nobody wants to see it. I mean, I'm a Falcons fan, and I can tell you right now, when I go up against Philly, I don't want injuries. I want them to be at full max because I don't want any excuses. You know how I feel about it. I don't want no excuses. Oh, well, Jalen Hurts was there. No. He was there. It's fine. I want him there. And if we lose, hey, we lost to the better team. But when we win, we beat the better team. And contracts, man. And I think they're pretty set with their contracts. I think they got a couple of them coming up on defense. I don't know who they are, but I think they got a couple of them coming up on defense. So they're going to have to make sure they lock those in. But other than that, man, like those 2 things, hopefully everybody is happy where they're at, I guess. Because you don't want anybody coming in saying they want trades to go to Cleveland or anything like that. But you never know. But I mean, be honest with you, I think it's injuries and contracts, man. You got to pay them, and they're going to want to be paid, especially after putting a Super Bowl in Philly. So
the majority of the people are already under contract. So so Jalen Hurts, he's under contract, and his contract pretty sizable when you look at the numbers. I think it was 5 years, $250 million, something like that. But the way it was structured, really team friendly in terms of the cap space that was saved. So that enables the Eagles, if they still want to add some players, then they can go do that. They have a little bit of cap space to work with. AJ Brown signed, Devontae Smith is signed, Saquon still got, I think, 2 years left on the deal that he signed to come with the Eagles. The offensive line, most of them young, so they're under contract.
Yep. Defensive line is under contract. I think it's the linebackers that I think is, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's linebackers that might be coming up. Now, I don't think they're going to come up this year or anything like that, but it might be next year. So,
the DB, I think I have to look at Darius Slay's contract, but I think he might come and do.
He might be. I know there's a few of them, but other than that, man, Philly looks strong for the.
They're intact.
But I can tell you, man, like I think Kansas City needs to find some offensive linemen. and maybe possibly another wide receiver. And they need to get some. They need to get some. I mean, their defense looked really well. I'll be honest with you, their defense played really well. If it wasn't for a couple of, Patrick Mahomes turned the ball over, one deep in their own territory, and the other one was a pick six. So, 14 points over turnovers, but their defense played really well. So, I mean, they could probably pick up a few corners, maybe a linebacker to help them on the defense. But other than that, man, I think their defense is pretty solid. They need some work on that offense, though.
I love it. Oh, go ahead.
No, because I don't think Kelsey's head is in the game like it was 2 years ago.
All right. So number one,
Tay, and if that's the only thing he's worried about is like before she makes an album about him and then splits off and then makes an album about him. He's trying to wifey it first so she can't make an album about him. That's what it is, you know.
Yeah, because any Swifties who might be watching this, look, y'all know the deal though. Y'all know Taylor Swift does gotta do this thing where he makes an album after
a hard breakup or an easy breakup. Yeah. I mean, dude, she's got 20 albums out, and every one of them is about a different guy.
Don't come after us, Swifties, for speaking the truth here.
Just pop the comments in the comments. I'll let you know what I think.
Don't be atting us.
But no problem, Swifty. I got you.
But you can leave some comments. Nice transition. I like that, Patrick. Look at you, man, transitioning over to the Chiefs. I like it. And so, I'm with you. The offensive line has been a little ragtag. Yeah, you had people playing out of position or not at their natural positions or normal positions. A couple of injuries had hit, so you had to mix and match some people, and you just ran up against a defensive line that one has been intact, run into or 7-8 linemen too. So the Eagles, on top of what they have with the Georgia Bulldogs, there they got people behind them that are rotating in, so they're always staying fresh. You have a great quarterback to build around, so that's key. But yeah, you have to keep them upright. You have to protect them. And even when they did try to run the ball, they couldn't open up a lot of holes against that Eagles defense. They were just on it.
So they were. As a matter of fact, speaking of how on it they were, maybe Patrick Mahomes needs to get better insurance.
The insurance has been fine.
I'm just saying.
Well,
he could go to which one is he advertising for?
State Farm.
Well, he can go to Allstate. He can
look,
get protected by Mayhem.
Patrick, he don't need insurance as much as he needs an ice bath because he was getting whooped.
Well, that's what I'm saying, Charles. If he would have changed his insurance, he wouldn't have got attacked by Mayhem like the Philadelphia Eagles.
I don't think there was enough insurance in the world that was going to keep him protected from that Eagles defense. Some things are just going to happen no matter what. Yeah. This was one of those.
Yeah, that's going to happen.
That defensive line, when you got dudes picking up offensive linemen and walking them back into Patrick Mahomes, there ain't nothing he can do about that.
He can shuffle pass.
It wasn't even.
He still had that. Uncle Rico still had the shuffle pass. It was looking good.
It wasn't even. I mean, it wasn't that the Chiefs' offensive line was even out of position. This was, all right, we're just going to bull rush you back into his throwing pattern.
We're going to take you from this position, which is the right one, and we're going to put you in a different one, which is going to help us out.
So like you said, though, yes, the Chiefs definitely got to work on the offensive line. That's first and foremost. Got to work on the offensive line. You got to keep your franchise quarterback upright. And the receiver, I'm with you there. The Chiefs, ever since Tyreek Hill left, they have pretty much gone with a receiver by committee, some sort. Like, I mean, just whoever is hot at the time. Of course, Travis Kelce is going to be there. He's going to be the number one pick or the number one target. But yeah, we got to see how he looks. I mean, he's getting up there in age. He, like you said, he didn't look like himself. Didn't look like a guy who was even into the game at times. The Chiefs had a lost look out there. Like, they couldn't believe what was happening to them at that time. But they do need another wide receiver. I like they have Xavier Worthy, so he's fast. He can get down the field. But they're going to need somebody in that intermediate range more consistent. I mean, I don't know if they get that in the draft or through free agency, but they definitely need another bona fide target there. They got DeAndre Hopkins, but he's getting up there in age, not quite the same as he used to be. You've had Juju Smith-Schuster there, but he's been in and out of the Chiefs even. I mean, it's like his second stint with the Chiefs. And so they're going to have to upgrade that skill position around those skill position players around Patrick Mahomes. And I agree with you on defense. I think defense, they're fine. They might be able to use some defensive line help. A lot is put on Chris Jones to get pressure and to make plays for him there. They could use another defensive end or even an interior lineman. Linebackers are pretty solid. DBs are pretty young. You still got the coaching staff in place. I'll say this, Patrick. Kansas City's not done. And for everybody who wants to sit here and say, Kansas City, this is the demise of the Chiefs. We're going to hear
people say that after one loss. Why do people say that?
I think, a lot of people, they try to speak a lot of things into existence because the Chiefs have had the run of success. And you know how it goes when people have a run of success, Patrick. They want them to lose. And then when they lose, they're done.
They're done. They're never going to win again. It was just like right when Alabama dropped to 5.
Yeah.
They're still 5th.
Yeah. They ain't going nowhere, man.
Now, with DeBoer there, different story. But I'm just saying, it's like I just thought it was funny because like Alabama dropped to 5th and only lost 2 games that season by 4 points total. And they're like, "Is this the fall of Alabama?" Well, no, it's not the fall of Alabama. They're 5th.
Yeah.
The Chiefs, next week, watch.
The Chiefs will still be heard from, y'all. I mean, when you have Hall of Fame coach, Hall of Fame QB, defense.
There's a good game going on in Kentucky right now.
I've been trying not to be like, yo, what's going on? But
I am too. But every time it updates, I'm like,
yeah, man. Life in the SEC, college basketball, man. They are deep in that league this year. I'm glad to be part of it. But Aaron made a comment. Sorry that I didn't see it earlier, Aaron, but he was talking about because I guess Aaron played on the O-line. And he said, as a former O-line, he'd be horrified if he had played Philly's D-line. I'm with you there.
I'd be hitting him with something. I'd punch him in the throat, kicking him in the knee. I'd be like, I'd do something. I would have done more than what they could have done. But I would have been a penalty flag every time. They would be like, on whatever bracket. Just call him Patrick because I know we don't care about his number. Illegal block.
He's chop blocking.
Chop block. I'm 100 and I'm 200 pounds. I got to do something. He's 400.
Yeah, that.
Why do you have a big stick in your hand? Like I said, I'm 200 pounds and I need this dude.
Nah, man. And another thing though with the Chiefs, we have to remember this. Just part of the run they have been on since Patrick Mahomes has been the starting quarterback. The Chiefs have made it to at least the AFC Championship game every single season. So there is a lot of work that needs to be done. First off, by those other teams in the AFC, Buffalo Bills, Baltimore Ravens, Cincinnati Bengals, whoever else. The Chiefs are still the team to beat in that conference. And you're not going to beat them with being average. And you definitely ain't going to do it with the loser mentality we talked about from some of these other teams. You're going to have to make some plays. You're going to have to bring it. And if you can, get them out of there. Don't let it come down to the fourth quarter. You got to put them away. You get these opportunities. That's what the Eagles did. When the Eagles got the opportunities to put them away, because there will be in every game, Patrick, there will be probably at least 3 or 4 plays where if you make them, you can put some distance between yourselves and the Chiefs. But you got to make those plays or you will lose. And that's what the Eagles did that these other teams in the AFC consistently have not been able to do. So Chiefs aren't going anywhere. They're still going to be formidable. But I guess if you want to take anything away, if you're those other teams in the AFC, there's a path.
Well,
it's the Eagles show.
Philly gave you a blueprint. Do what you do with it.
Yep.
There you go. Philly gave you a blueprint. Do what you do with it.
Yep. So, Patrick, let's move on over to the NBA. And there has been mutiny going on in Dallas off of that trade that sent Luka Doncic to the Los Angeles Lakers. Of course, the Mavs got Anthony Davis back in there. There were some other players in there in the trade, but of course, those are the ones who they call the head.
Surprise.
Yeah.
Who's hurt?
Yeah. So in the week after that trade happened, yes, you just mentioned Anthony Davis, who was already injured when the trade happened. Well, hell, Luka was injured too. He came back last night, but Anthony Davis came back, was beasting too. Had 26 and 16, and now he's going to miss a couple of weeks due to, I think, an adductor strain. So on top of that, there has been a protest by the Mavericks fans down in Dallas calling for the job of the general manager, Nico Harrison, and they want the ownership to sell the team. Now, keep this in mind. Mark Cuban he sold a share, so I guess he's kind of a minority owner now.
He is. He only owns like 40% now. I think it's a woman that owns the Mavericks now.
I think it's a group. I think it's like you got like a group of like 3 people, and the governor, he actually spoke the other day. Don't have the name right now. If you can you check that for me? I forgot his name. But he had an interview with the Dallas Morning News, and I guess he was talking about the culture of the Mavericks, and pretty much it sounded like he was saying Luka just wasn't fitting the culture in terms of playing defense and doing those other things to build on to that culture. Look, I can tell you, Patrick, from living down there, as you know. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
The Addison family now owns the Dallas Mavericks.
Okay.
Miriam Addison and her family. So it's a woman and her family that owns the Dallas Mavericks now.
Got it. Okay. So if they...
What the hell did she do? Hold on. What did she do that makes her a billionaire?
Oh, you have to look that up. 'Cause I don't know.
I'm gonna have to do that after the show because now I'm like,
because but you have fans, they're upset about Luka going down there. Now I can tell you from living down there, Patrick, before I moved up here to DC, that the whole thing with Luka being in shape, that had been a story since he's gotten there. Like that's not anything that's new. It seems kind of weird. It sounds like the Mavs are kind of just trashing Luka a little bit with the whole being out of shape thing and saying he had to go and get traded because he wasn't living up to the culture and whatever else they want to do. But
that's how she got her money. Sorry.
Yeah.
She got her money because her husband was a huge casino owner.
That's right. Yes. So that, and on that note, there have been questions on whether or not the Mavs were going to move to Las Vegas as well. The dude came on there and he had said no, they're not moving. They're going to stay in Dallas. So sounds like
as long as Mark Cuban owns what he owns, from what I'm reading, as long as he owns what he owns, she cannot make that decision on her own.
So all right, yeah, and I don't think they're not leaving. They weren't leaving Dallas,
dude.
Like, can we stop with that? Come on, they weren't leaving.
They're not gonna. That's the only thing that's going good. Aaron mentioned Jerry Jones with the text. Hey, look, just keep Jerry Jones' hands off the Mavericks, and you're good.
As Aaron had just said, that's so funny because he said Mavs owner Jerry Jones destroying Texas teams. Mavs got yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I mean, because they did get AD back. Hopefully, for their sake, he can come back and he can stay healthy. He's been good about staying healthy the last couple of seasons. This is just kind of a little speed bump, and he can come back and play the rest of this year. But the fans are upset, very upset. They've been protesting. Like I said, they want the GM gone. They want those owners to sell the team. There were protest signs in the game last night when they were playing the Sacramento Kings. They got escorted out of the arena. And so the temperature is really, really hot in Dallas right now. I mean, the GM's walking around with extra security. I'm like, all right, look, I get it. We are passionate about our fans, about our teams, Patrick. I think we all are. But dude,
well, Arthur Blank didn't have to walk around with security when he got Kirk Cousins. We were just like,
what you doing?
What are you doing?
Why?
Why me? Why me? I was like, dude. So look, Arthur is like, hey, I made a choice. And we're like, the only thing he has to worry about is getting slapped, because that's what everybody was like, look, we ain't gonna kill you, Arthur. We not. We love you. We really do. We really do love Arthur Blank. But I will say this, I will slap the crap out of him if he doesn't get rid of Kirk Cousins.
I think it's pretty solid that Kirk won't be back, man.
Hold on, Aaron. Dude, we used to call Russell. We used to call Russell like Mr. 50-50 because he would shoot up a 3-point shot, get his own rebound, and put it up for a layup.
Yep, Russell Westbrook. Yeah, he still kind of does that.
No, he doesn't go for his own shots anymore.
It's not as much. No,
he shoots it up like he thinks it's money. And it misses the rim and everything. Just airballs and goes underneath the rim, and he just like,
yeah.
Like, dude, you got a Andrew Bottom feel about you now. Somebody likes
you.
Yeah,
shot it. I'll shoot it again.
And I'll shoot it again. How did you feel about that 3-pointer, Andrew? I liked it. I got it. And I'll shoot it again.
He came down and just launched. Like he's Dirk. He's Dirk Nowitzki or somebody.
It's like Seth. I was Seth before Seth showed up.
Yeah. but it's pretty hot. Like I said, not just the weather down there in Dallas. It is, the fans are really upset about this trade, and they are wondering, why would you trade him? Now, again, like we had talked about it on our shorties, and if you feel getting Anthony Davis at this time can maximize your window, I don't think that's out of the. I don't think there's anything really wrong with that. I mean, Luka. We talked about Luka before, in terms of being a one-dimensional player. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's a guy, we know how skilled he is offensively, and there isn't.
The offense goes stagnant.
Yeah, but the offense does stay stagnant, and I think last year that wasn't as much the case. But if you're gonna get maximum Luka Doncic, you're still gonna make sure he has the ball in his hands all the time.
Yep.
And that slows down ball movement. That makes
he sure as hell ain't no Russell Williamson. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna tell you, like, Russell Williamson is like once in 3 generational players. Just so you know, Aaron. Just so you know.
So what I would say to the fans in Dallas is this: let's see how this year goes, because if Dallas does come forward, or excuse me, if they are able to stay healthy and they have their people there, healthy, whole, full-time roster, Dallas can make a run.
What if they win? What if they win the whole thing?
Then
the mutiny stops, doesn't it? It's like,
of course it does.
Oh, what? Who is it again? Who owns the team? I gotta find it again.
The Addison family.
The Addisons. They'll be like, oh, we love our owners.
You know
we love our owners. We got AD. We got, what's the other one? Kyrie Irving. We're looking at upgrading our lineup with Russell Williamson. We're gonna be straight.
As they're having a parade in downtown Dallas, right? Like, what
exactly.
That's what I'm saying. Just wait until you want to go scorched earth in your own city. Let's see how this works out, because the Western Conference is rough and rugged as it is, and we've talked about it on our shorties last week. But as rough and rugged as the Western Conference is, it's wide open. Mm-hmm. And I mean, yes, OKC looks really good, but they haven't made a long run yet. I mean, shoot, Dallas beat them in the Western Conference semifinals last year. Of course, this is with Luka on the team, but if Dallas matches up with OKC again, I think that would be a very good series if Dallas is healthy. So let's not go to the reunion tower and try to burn that. Let's not
burn down the Alamo just yet.
Alamo's in San Antonio,
but it's okay.
Alamo's in San Antonio. Back.
I said I know it's a different city. It's okay. Burn it down. Just calm down.
Shoot, as a matter of fact, with the Spurs getting De'Aaron Fox, I mean.
Oh, dude, that's we even said that in our shorty. That was the best trade. And then on top of that, I mentioned the whole Connect thing, and that got disbanded.
Yes.
But, you know, I'll be honest with you. Luckily for the Lakers, that happened, because I don't think that was personally a good move. Personal opinion. But Kentucky beat Tennessee just now.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, and then Kentucky might be getting it back together. They started off good.
Hey, my dog beat him. I don't care. And
yeah.
Kentucky beat Tennessee, but yeah, my dog beat him. Whatever.
They're playing A&M right now, I think.
Yeah, I didn't even want to look at the score right now.
It just started, so it's not too bad right now. Let's see. Aaron said, "Yeah, that was another trade. Yeah, because Chris Middleton got traded to the Wizards for Kyle Kuzma. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so Aaron, I'm gonna. We're not afraid to acknowledge we don't know something. I have no idea what the Bucks are doing, so I'm not gonna say.
Be honest with you, I don't think the Bucks know what the Bucks are doing. Every time I think that I got something that I've almost got them figured out, and I'm like, okay, they go and do this, and I'm like,
yeah. Because Aaron mentioned it about Drew Holiday being traded out of there for Damian Lillard, and I didn't know what they were doing with that one, and now they trade it, and now this trade for Chris Middleton for Kyle Kuzma. Look, I think this is the Bucks continuing. If I had to make a guess,
throwing darts in the dark, hoping something sticks.
Yeah, they're doing whatever they think is going to maximize the window with Giannis there. Giannis,
either that or somebody's about to buy him out and move that team to Vegas.
Because you officially see, lucky on Drew, and now he thinks he needs to trade everybody. Yeah, the Bucks, and that's the big point also, Aaron, why I think they're making these trades. The Bucks are an aging team. I mean, they are an old team.
They're the oldest team in the NBA right now.
Yeah.
Like statistically the oldest team.
And now you're trying to make these trades that you think will maximize that window. You put yourself on a major, like a really short clock when you decided that you were going to bring Damian Lillard in, and you knew there was a chance Giannis might leave. So you want to make this move, go ahead and bring in someone like Dame, but Damian Lillard isn't, besides offense, he's not giving you much on a night-to-night basis. And then you trade Chris Middleton for Kuzma, and Kuzma's not what he has been.
And Middleton is probably your best defensive player on that team right now.
Yeah, and
he can play defense. I doesn't look like he's been playing it here lately, but
I mean, he's been hurt. Chris Middleton has had injury issues himself. Mm-hmm. And also, you got Doc Rivers as a coach. That's another thing. Aaron, can you tell me why Doc Rivers is coaching that team? Because I don't know.
Well, tell me this. Why is Doc Rivers still coaching?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out why Doc Rivers is continuously getting these opportunities. Look, you talk about that time of relevancy, Patrick. Hey,
he hasn't won that title in 15 years.
Yeah, won that title with the Celtics in 2008. He's outside now. And it seems like everybody, when it comes to Doc Rivers, holds on to that as to say, yeah, he can make some things work. Not with this roster, and not
with any roster.
He needs to retire. Yeah. So I understand, Aaron, where you would be frustrated there. Yeah. I mean, Bobby Portis. So Bobby Portis, I think he's good because he brings a different energy to the team. And when everybody else is kind of looking like down on the dumps out there, he brings a different intensity to him. So I don't mind Bobby Portis. Lopez, definitely, Brooke Lopez, he's definitely kind of getting up there, and
he's seen better years.
Yeah, he's seen better years. Connaughton has always been a good rotational player. He's your guy. He can hit some threes. He can provide a couple of defensive stops, a little bit of toughness. But, yeah, maybe you could have put something in terms of package him in there. So Aaron says, yep, because people in the front office had too many highlights and thought Griffin and then Doc were good for us. Yeah. I think they were quick to get rid of Mike Budenholzer. I mean, the guy had just won a title a couple of years ago, and they had the first round exit to the Miami Heat. This was in 2023, where Miami knocked out the Bucks. You remember the Bucks were they were the number 1 seed.
Yep.
And Miami knocked them out in 5 games, and it was, we got to make all these moves, make all these trades, get rid of Budenholzer. Milwaukee's in some trouble, and I think it's going to be not too much longer before Giannis leaves the way it's looking. Because I don't trading Chris Middleton away. I mean, they have been together pretty much their whole career. And so now it looks weak for Milwaukee. I mean, they'll have enough to make the playoffs, but are they making a legit run? Don't see that happening. And other than that, let's see. Oh, one more thing before we head on out, Patrick. So, Steve Kerr, the coach for the Golden State Warriors, had said this. So this goes back on a shorty you did. Well, take that back. Well, kind of, in terms of evolving the league. Like when Adam Silver was talking about the 10-minute quarters.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So what Steve Kerr said, this was about the Aaron is glad Jimmy Butler's gone. The Steve Kerr this was talking about the NBA trade deadline. And he said that deadline should go into the All-Star break. Now, what happened with the Warriors was when they were playing a game, I think they were in Orlando, or no, they were either in Utah, I believe. But they were playing a game that Wednesday night when the Jimmy Butler trade got finalized. So, of course, Andrew Wiggins, who was part of that deal, was literally practicing. He was out there shooting in warm-ups, and then they're like, well, hey, man, I traded. And so there was a lot of sadness. Of course, I mean, if you have somebody who has been a teammate there and they were part of you winning it, a big part of them winning their last championship in 2022, I could see where that could have a little bit of an effect on the teammates. So Steve Kerr, I guess, was allocating for the trade deadline to go into the All-Star break. That way you have your All-Star break, you got your week before you go back to playing in your regular games, and the transition period won't be as choppy. How do you feel about that one?
I don't care. To be honest with you, like every now and then you see your splash trades. Like, obviously in baseball you got the Yankees who want to make their splash trades. In basketball, it's the Lakers. Hockey, you got a couple of teams that want to do it. Most of the time it's Canadian, Montreal or Canada. What's the other one?
Toronto.
No, Montreal and Boston.
Oh, okay. You're talking about like
Toronto does, but a lot of these sports they don't go until the All-Star break or anything like that. I mean,
you're talking about the chartered franchises, you said, right?
Yeah.
Okay, my bad. Yeah, sorry.
And so I'm sitting here looking at it. I mean, if that's what they want to do, I mean, there's so many other battles we can fight than pushing a trade deadline to like another month. You know what I'm saying? To me, I don't see the necessity in it, because it's not really what is another month going to change with the fact that Andrew Wiggins was out on the court practicing and now he's having to go because the trade was going to happen regardless. You know what I'm saying? I don't. You have to have a deadline. Stick to the deadline. Stop complaining that the deadline is too short. You already knew where it's at. So I don't understand why there's always a problem. There's always a problem to fix when there's no problem. You know what I mean? To me, like if you're gonna do it, let's talk about the 10-minute quarters. Every league in the entire world is at 10-minute quarters except for the NBA. Let's talk about that. That makes sense. To push a trade deadline another month. Okay. Sounds like the Yankees when they complain about how we need 32 teams in the playoffs.
It does sound. It does sound a little bit like some sour grapes there, but and you know how it goes a lot of times when things like this happen. It's not really an issue unless you're directly affected, which in this case, his team was. And now it's, what about these changes? Let's talk about these changes.
Let's talk about a change here. Affect me this year and probably won't affect me again in 3 or 4 years. And then you're going to complain, well, why is the trade deadline so long? Because you're the one that wanted it that long.
Yeah.
Leave well enough alone. Stop complaining about every little thing. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah. It's just sometimes, people will talk about how, well, nothing's going to be perfect, but my gosh, when things seem broken, then everybody wants to try and find a fix for it. Wow.
And it only affected you one time. It probably won't never affect you again, ever. And what are you going to do when you retire, or what are you going to do when it benefits somebody else later that's in your division or in your conference, or you play them tomorrow night, and because that got pushed out another month, you're mad because, well, if the trade deadline was 4 weeks earlier, then we wouldn't have to deal with this. Oh, because you got your butt whipped and you now struggling to stay in playoff contention? What? Get out of here. Get out. It's all about convenience. You know how what you always say. It's all about convenience, and it affected him this year. Today, he's mad about it. Get over it, Steve. Get over it.
Well, Patrick, on that note, that is it for the agenda on the BOFA Sports Webcast for this evening. So before we hop on out, what is coming up for Bro Epic?
So we got our Bro Epic Dodgeball first game, or our first show that was released last Friday. We had a lot of fun up at the Boom Boom Room. We finished our Pop Darts tournament challenge, and we are gearing up for, man, I don't even know what to call it. Dude, I say it in my Friday wrap up, and I'm sitting here still going like, I don't even know what to call it. But I'm putting some kids in some bubble balls. I'm putting some kids in some shoulder pads and helmets, and I'm trying to make them shoot basketballs. And I'm putting that in a tournament. So it's going to be fun watching these kids knock each other around. So that's one. So that's going to be a tournament. And then we are gearing up for our basketball challenge we're fixing to do. I haven't decided if we were going to do it out on the beach. Sometimes it's cold. Sometimes it's not. I haven't figured it out yet. But it's going to be a 3-point challenge, skills challenge, and then we're going to play a game. And I thought about putting somebody in a bubble ball for that too, just to mess around with it, just to see. But I don't know. But look, dude, I got big, huge 5-foot bubble balls. I need to use them because it seems like it would be fun.
So when you say cold, like how cold is cold, Patrick? Because we know.
So sometimes it's like 70 degrees. I'm 43, dude. I'm cold. I moved to Florida. Look, we got 4 inches of snow 2 weeks ago, and I'm like, I did not move to Florida for this crap. Like, it was fun, for 24 hours, and that crap needs to melt and go away, and I don't need to see it anymore. Like, I'm good for 10 years. You know what I mean? I'm good. Keep the snow up there. Keep it 70 at the minimal 70 degrees, and then we're good. But look, it's always colder out on the beach, dude. It's always colder.
That's true.
I get out there at 70 degrees, it's like 60 It's like 57 with the wind blowing. So I get cold and I don't like it. So we're probably going to do our challenge on grass. 1 and 2. I don't like sand. I don't like where the sand gets. So, but yeah, you know.
If you get the chance to check out the episode,
It's funny. We got parents beaming kids with it's hilarious, dude. So yeah, go check it out because it was a lot of fun. Watching those parents beat up on kids and the parents were ruthless, dude. The parents were ruthless.
They were coming with it, and but it's a really fun episode. I got to check it out myself when Patrick released it on Friday, and it is fun, funny to see, funny to watch, and everybody was into it. Parents, kids,
guest host. Her name was Marissa. Guest host was in it. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a blast. We had a lot of fun filming it, and you know. Huge shout out to the Boom Boom Room for letting us do that too. So,
all right, man. And hey, you know us, we'll be doing our thing over here on BOFA Sports, but look out for interviews to start in the coming weeks. Don't have a exact timetable for that, but
we're working on the lineup right now.
Yeah, got some things in the works here. So, with both of these products, Bro Epic and BOFA Sports, hey, gonna be seeing a lot of us. And for those who are supporting, hey, thanks for the support. We really appreciate it, and continue watching because the best is yet to come. So with that, that will conclude this edition of the BOFA Sports webcast. That is what we are breathing on for this evening. Y'all make sure y'all visit the BOFA Sports YouTube channel, smash that subscribe button, and follow the BOFA Sports Facebook page. Until next time, y'all take it easy and have a great rest of the week.